Welcome back to the podcast. It's Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Early voting is underway in America. 40 some odd days to the actual election day. Sadly, most votes will be cast before that time. Thanks for your support. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, tell your friends and family, ring the bell for notifications, yada, yada, yada. You know the story. I need some rule changes in politics. 2 rule changes. First is this. If you're an incumbent elected official and you want to run for a seat that you do not currently hold, you must resign your current seat first before you can run for another seat. The blatant unfairness of this allowance for decades and decades has got to stop. Let's just take the candidates we currently have running for president. We have Donald Trump and J.D. Vance on the Republican side, and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on the Democrat side. Starting with Republicans, Donald Trump does not earn any salary from the taxpayer. J.D. Vance makes $174,000 a year as a U.S. Senator, plus all kinds of benefits, all kinds of perks, and insider trading. And he's running as the VP candidate for Republican ticket. Kamala Harris, current vice president, makes $235,000 a year, plus benefits, plus all the perks of being VP. And she's running full-time for the presidency. You have Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota. He makes $150,000 a year, plus benefits, plus perks, plus pension. His salary's up with 7.3% from 2023. Nice. Cost of living adjustment, huh? How many Americans got an increase of 7.3% in their salary last year? Tim's not worried about inflation. And so here we have 3 of the 4 candidates running for the presidential ticket in 2025 work or are paid to work full-time as a senator, a vice president, and a governor. And yet they are currently running full-time as a senator, vice president, and governor. This has got to stop. Incumbent office holders cannot run for a different seat without resigning their current seat first, period. Now, the VP running for president, that's a touch different, but still the bottom line I'm getting at is they're not doing their job they're being paid for. There are 24 hours in a day. There is no way they're doing full-time work as senator for JD, as VP for Kamala, or as governor for Tim. No way. It's not possible. They're going to claim they're doing it, very busy doing 2 jobs. You're not doing 2 jobs. You're all running full-time as candidates, and the taxpayer is paying your bill. New rule. The other new rule is we have to stop this extended early voting. Early voting is underway in North Carolina and Virginia right now. I think one other state. It's the 23rd of September. What a waste of your vote. So much can happen between the 23rd of December and November 5th. My first suggestion is get away from early voting. Let's go to a 2-day weekend voting process. Saturdays and Sundays, everyone gets a chance to vote. But if we have to stick with early voting, 7 days, then end on the Friday before the election day the following Tuesday. Too many votes are being cast too early, and so much more can happen in a campaign between September and November. All right, those are my 2 rules for politics. Let's check in on the presidential race. Latest polls, the best spot to go is realclearpolitics.com. Trump is up 5 in Arizona over Harris. Trump is up 4 in Georgia over Harris. Let's see, Trump is up 2 over Harris in North Carolina. Harris is up 5 over Trump in Minnesota. Trump is up 6 over Harris in Texas. What else do we have? National polls, Harris up 4 over Trump. CBS, NBC has Harris up 5 over Trump. Virginia, Harris up 2 over Trump. So the race is still tight. There are some spots where it's a little less than tight, but still tight, somewhat within the margin of error. Pennsylvania seems to be going to be the key race here. Little check on that. Donald Trump's not helping himself, that's for sure. How many of America's greatest conservatives, political pundits, have told Donald Trump to stop with the Twitter, to stop with the texting, to stop with the posting, stop with the name calling, stop with the belittling? He just can't help himself. And he just keeps hurting himself. His latest one was an attack on Bill Maher. He put a post on True Social. The ratings challenge Bill Maher on his increasingly boring show on HBO is really having a hard time coping with Trump derangement syndrome. He is a befuddled mess, sloppy and tired, and every conversation with B and C-list guests seems to start with or revert back to me. This week, he had a dumb as a rock bimbo Stephanie Rule from MSDNC on the show, along with a Trump-hating loser Brett Stevens, who seemed totally confused and unsure of himself, very much like Maher himself. Stevens should find himself another line of work because I'm driving the failing New York Times absolutely crazy, and it's very hard, perhaps impossible, for a writer to write well of me without suffering the wrath of the degenerate editors who, with a push from the top, have gone insane. They apologized to the readers in 2016 for the complete and total miss, and they'll do it again in November. The failing New York Times is a badly run newspaper that has totally lost its way. Put it to sleep. Just enough of this crap, Donald. You got to stop this name calling, this bullying. Good Lord. Policy, 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 policy. That's it. The Democrats have given you a menu of policies you can attack them on, and you're focused on this silly shit. It's got to stop. Where's his team? Where's his advisor? Is he listening to anyone? Sean Hannity, come on, help us out here. I've heard Sean tell him, you got to stop this stuff. And he just won't do it. He's got another problem with his endorsement of Mark Robinson, the North Carolina Republican candidate for governor. What a mess. How this guy became the candidate is remarkable to me, that's for sure. Somehow he's outraced everybody else. He's convinced a large group of people that he's the candidate. He's not going to win. Stein is going to win the race in North Carolina. It will stay Democrat. And now we have Mark Robinson, of course, with all his horrible rhetoric as the candidate for governor. Now he's connected to Ashley. It's Ashley Madison. It's a website for married people seeking affairs. And so this is not a great guy. And sure enough, Donald Trump endorsed him. Remember Donald Trump? He only hires the best people. So now this is going to blow up in his face. He's going to have to get away from that very quickly, as he did with Laura Loomer. So, Mr. Trump, get it together, man. Policy, policy, policy. Be nice, be friendly, be respectful, stop the bullying, stop the name calling. Help yourself out a little bit. And lastly, before I move off Trump, Trump is denied an opportunity to debate Kamala Harris again. Now, it was an invite from CNN, and that's somewhat understandable. Trump should try to arrange a debate with some more neutral debate moderators, or go with a proper debate, a one-on-one debate with Kamala Harris, and the only third person in the room is a timekeeper, real, proper debating. But to deny another debate to Kamala Harris, it lets people think he doesn't want to risk losing again, even though he thinks he won. She came off better than he did. Candidates should always accept invitations to debate. It's an opportunity to share policy perspectives and to move voters. Those who don't want to debate are concerned about debating. And he says, I've debated twice. Well, you debated Biden once, you debated Kamala Harris once, and she's a different candidate. Anyway, that always bothers me when candidates don't debate, regardless of who it is. The other thing I want to talk about today is violent crime. And the assertion from Democrats, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and others, that violent crime is falling, that things are improved. Remember now, 2020 defund the police was real. Democrats across the country advocated for defunding the police as a way to restore justice. And it backfired seriously, quickly on them. And police departments across the country were impacted negatively. And police departments today are still trying to recover from that horrible, horrible policy of defunding the police. And Democrats are scrambling to reinstate police forces to the extent they were in 2018, 2019. Now, we can complain about police all day long, and I'll be right there with you. The corruption, the abuse, the incompetence, I'm right there beside you. But for decades, we built up police forces across the country, and it takes just a quick, short time to destroy something. It takes a long time to build something. And it took no time at all to destroy the competency of police forces. Most cities and towns don't have enough police anymore to patrol their communities. And this crime statistics show it. And contrary to what Democrats say, the idea that violent crime is better now than it was in 2019 just isn't true. And the stats are here to show it. We see from the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Statistics from September 2024 that that is so. And let's just take a look at some of the data they present in this report. You can read the report yourself, of course. Total violent crime, 2019, 5,813,000 cases. 2022, 6,624,000 cases. 2023, 6,419,000 cases. Now, Democrats claim that drop from 2022 to 2023 is their truth, that they're decreasing violent crime. And that's definitely a drop, no question. Remember, in 2020, it was 4,558,000, 2021, 4,598,000. So good that drop. We don't have a 2024 data point yet, but speculation is around 6.5 million. But very obviously, way more than 2019. Rape, sexual assault, robbery, assault, all well above the 2019 numbers. Rape, sexual assault, 459,000 in 2019, 481,000 in 2023. 531,000 in 2022. Robbery, 534,000 in 2019, 437,000 in 2020, 464,000 in 2021, 694,000 in 2022, 731,000 in 2023. Holy cow. Assault, 4.8 million in 2019, 3.8 million in 2020, 3.8 million in 2021, 5.4 million in 2022, 5.2 million in 2023. Again, above 2019. Violent crime excluding simple assault, 2 million in 2019, 2.5 million in 2023. Selected characteristics of violent crime, stranger violence, 2.2 million in 2019, 3.2 million in 2023, up from 2.9 million in 2022. Violent crime with an injury, 1.265 million in 2019, 1.4 million in 2022, 1.3 million in 2023. Violent crime with a weapon, 1.1 million in 2019, 895,000 in 2021, 1.8 million in 2022, 1.5 million in 2023. Look at the data yourself. Everything is higher in 2023 than 2019. That's defund the police. All right, lastly, checking in on Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris continues to dodge the media in ways that's not helpful and just wrong. And that's my friends that are Democrats. Is this really what you want from your candidate? No specifics, no policy discussion, no rigorous debate on the issues, because that's what we're having here. Seems like the Harris team is trying to run out the clock. And as Victor Davis Hanson described it, it's a bit cynical. It seems to be the overarching principle of this abbreviated campaign that Kamala Harris is running. She seems unwilling or unable, and I'm quoting Victor Davis Hanson, she seems unwilling or unable to answer any impromptu question that she has not been previously prepped for. It seems her debate answers are pretty memorized, pretty canned. She did the 11-minute post-debate interview in Philadelphia, and that did not go well. She dodged the questions and didn't really answer the questions. So she was an avoidance of news conferences. She avoids one-on-one nationally broadcast interviews and town halls. And she only debates on left-leaning venues with impartial moderators, as she did with Oprah. The only real details we hear about the Harris campaign come from her surrogates and the mainstream left-leaning media. They do more talking about her policies than she does. It just isn't her skill set. She's not good off the cuff in front of the camera live. But she needs to be. She needs to get better, and practice will certainly help that. Her running candidate, Tim Walz, was doing some campaigning the other day. I believe the main topic was gun safety, gun violence. But he had this to say, Tim Walz.
We can't afford 4 more years of this.
Uh-oh, we can't afford 4 more years of this. Now, even if he is referring simply to gun violence, well, Biden and Harris have been in control. They had control of the Congress for 2 years, House and the Senate. So a little ouch there by Tim. I'm sure Tim had a little stern talking to. Don't say that. All right, that's all I have for you right now. Always try to buy American.